Welcome to Lessons for Life on a Wednesday night. Unusually for us on a Wednesday night, but it's a special night because Harry is here. Welcome, Harry. Thank you for coming down as ever. And Iman is on the line from Sudan. Iman, are you with us?
Yes, greetings.
Greetings to you.
Sudan.
Thank you so much. We had faith that you would be able to get through to us, and finally we managed it.
And we made it.
Yeah.
Yes, we finally made it.
Thank God for that. So look, Harry's put me in touch with you because you are on the ground in Sudan and you have got a better understanding of what has happened over there. We're not hearing much about it in the media, that the story has almost disappeared. What has happened over the past few weeks and why has it happened to your country?
Okay. Basically, what happened is it wasn't actually 2 weeks. It's been on the run actually. So Sudan, before just mentioning anything, like I'm not really into politics or so on, but what I will mention that what happened actually in Sudan since the revolution of 2018. But I wasn't in Sudan in 2018. I was in Sudan in 2021.
Okay.
Which was the year of the change, I would call it. I used to live in a Gulf country, and then I decided to move back to my country because of many reasons. One of the most reasons was humanity and so on. So I have faced a lot of changes as a citizen who lives in Khartoum.
Okay.
A lot of changes, a lot of revolutions, a lot of COP, which was the COP of October 25th. And then after that, ongoing revolutions and so on. So things, politically speaking, I wasn't very much into it because for me it was mentally exhausting because Sudan is like divided into a lot of political parties. Like everyone is just trying to eat each other. Like, hey, you are this, you are red, you're white, you're green, you're this, we hate you. So unfortunately, there is a division that was going on for the past the 2 years that I spent in here. And basically, I faced the COP. I was here in the COP, the 25th of October. It was horrible. I gotta say it was horrible because I remember I was an intern in my company, and one night we just woke up and we found that everything is gone. All the communication is gone. Everything is gone. We have no idea. So living in Sudan, I have to call it as the place of the uncertainty. Like you don't have uncertainty. You have no clue what's going to happen next. And it's a little bit risky because like I work in this company that like it's international one and so on, but there's a lot of business opportunities within this uncertainty, and it's a growing country and a lot of things are changing and so on. But the unexpected has happened, which this one. I'll briefly share my story. I'll try to make it short in 5 minutes. Everything, the thing started to escalate 2 weeks before the war. So the war has happened in April 15th. It was the 3rd week of Ramadan. And I remember the week before it, I was at work, and we heard that Hamiti has went to Marawi, and he's going there. And I remember clearly that we were like, whoa, what happened? We were like,
no, they don't have it. They don't stock them. I told you, Tesco, they don't stock them.
Sorry, Iman, you're still with us. Carry on. Sorry for the interruption.
Okay. No, it's okay. So yeah, what happened? We were like, because we know that, like, I remember there was like a lot of talk about melting all, like, making all the militias in Sudan join the army because it's gonna be a problem, just like Libya and other things. And they were trying to avoid this. So the army was trying to make them like, okay, please join us, please. We don't want any kind of division. We want one unity, one Sudan army, and so on.
Are you including the RSF in that militia? Are they one of the militias that you?
Yes, they all of them agreed. All of them agreed. All the other militias.
And this militia, the RSF, are they related to the Janjaweed? People are saying that they are the
Yes, they
remnants
are.
of the
They are.
Janjaweed.
No,
Okay,
this is
so
no, they are definitely. They
okay,
were created
all right.
by the Bashir.
So al-Bashir
And
was the previous
why?
president. He
Yes.
created the Janjaweed to put
Yes.
down the rising in Darfur. Why did he need the Janjaweed?
Yeah. I don't have a specific information, but he wanted to take control on Darfur, and the situation in Darfur is a really complicated one.
Okay.
So he
So
wanted
they were
control
loyal
it,
to the
and he sent
previous.
it into it.
Okay.
Yes, and they coped him. They coped him and joined the new army forces that took place, which is Burhan.
So they
Now,
they betrayed their
they
founder,
joined-
basically. They
yeah,
betrayed the
yes,
president that helped them.
They did it again.
Okay.
They did it again. So fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. You know. But the thing is that I will tell you something, Dan, from my eyes that I have seen. They asked them to join and so on, and he was refused, and it was like, and it was intense. The last 2 weeks before this happened, things were very intense, and I heard in work, and my coworkers were discussing like, okay, this is scary. But here's the thing: my location, my company location, is in the most dangerous place on earth, I have to say, in Khartoum, because it was right in front of the presidential palace. And let me tell you that there was no army guarding the place. It was the RSP guarding the place. And I remember seeing them everywhere. And I remember I used to have so I work as a data analyst, and I go to the grocery store, just like in my office, and I get things. And I remember it was Ramadan, and I have low blood pressure. I need to get some things and so on. And I saw them in the street, and they were like trying to talk to women and stuff. They were just. We didn't want to interact with them, and my management was like, "Okay, do not interact with these people. Do their best. Like, just don't go there." So we heard them, and I had a slight idea of how are they. We didn't. I have to tell you that a lot of people did not like their presence in the Khartoum. We did not like it. I don't know why. It felt just odd.
Well, I'm going to play you a clip now. I would like to play a clip of a video. You're not going to see it, but you'll hear it. You might help me with some of the translation. This is, as I understand it, the RSF claiming that people are happy to see them in Khartoum. Let's listen.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. نحن الآن يا جماعة داخل الخرطوم من السوق المركزي، كما وعدتكم دائما بنديكم من أرض الحدث. فالحركة دؤوبة والأمور طيبة والناس يعني في أمن وأمان. الشعب السوداني يعني مبسوط جدا جدا من تعامل أخواننا في قوات الدعم السريع. نحن بنرسل رسائل اخواننا في الدعم السريع خارج ولايه الخرطوم، وبنقول لكم الخرطوم والله في امن وامان، والبلد تحت سيطره الدعم السريع 100%.
هذا هو الدعم السريع، ما في كلام، ما في كلام.
Okay, this is the RSF claiming the people are happy to see them.
أول حاجة الموجودة هو قوات الدعم السريع، والحمد لله معاملتهم 100% معنا، والسوق
100%
أهو مستقر.
تعاملوا معكم كيف؟
امورهم ولا بيقصرين مننا من اي شيء، والله اللي بيشحد ما بخليه يمشي زي والجعان ما خلوه. طيب والحمد لله تعاملوا معانا راقي واخواتنا وكلهم اخواننا.
الشعب السوداني يصبر، بس يصبر وبعدين ربنا ان شاء الله بيجيب المدنيه. احنا نطمن اخواننا في الدعم السريع. انا في الخرطوم مسيطرين على الوضع كامل. انا اتكلم مباشر يا هم المواطنين امامكم. احنا الان بنجاهد ونقاتل ونقبض بالمجرمين هو النيقص اللي بياكلوا حق الناس بالباطل. رسالتنا الشعب السوداني، نبشر الشعب السوداني تماما ان الروائج والحاجات الخاطئه اللي بيديها الناس اللي بيعكسوها للناس، الحاجات الما صحيحه نحن عندنا موجوده. الان نحن
so this is the
والان نحن حاجه بتريح، ماذا حاجه بتريح جيش ولا دعم سريع.
Okay, look, so what we just watched there, what we saw there for the viewers at the home, that was the RSF showing that the people in Khartoum are happy that they are there. We are one of the people, and we are protecting them. Would you say that's a very selective audience? What are the type? Obviously, some people are supporting the
I
RSF.
will share something.
What type of people is that?
Can you please tell me your name again?
Julian. Yeah, you're speaking to Julian, and we've got Andre on the screen as well, along with Harry. But yeah, you're through to me.
Okay, noted. Okay, Julian, I will share something with you that happened to me in a live action.
Go ahead for it.
Okay, and I think it will give you the best answer that you, after this, you can do your analysis. I'm not gonna tell you about my journey because it's a very harsh one. My journey. I stayed 1 month in Khartoum, and but I will briefly explain what happened in 2 minutes, and then after that, I will tell you my experience about. I will give you the answer that you about this claim. Quickly, it was on Saturday, 9 a.m., and all of a sudden, it was a very normal day, and people were preparing for Eid because it's next Eid, it's next week. And all of a sudden, I live in Al-Kuwait, so look, Al-Kuwait location was literally in the middle of all the battles that happened. We saw an amount of transportation buses running like there is something like that. The judgment day has arrived, and we got scared. We were like, what's going on? I remember my mother was like, whoa, what's going on? Why everyone is fleeing? They entered by our street, like from the airport street. They just moved to our neighbor to hide. It was scary. I'm narrating this and recalling this. It feels like a nightmare. And we were like, well, what happened? And people were shouting. It was like, oh my God, the militia and they are fighting. And then I have to say that the nightmare has begun. It was ongoing shooting, bombing, air drones, 24 hours. I have to say that the first 5 days, I will sell everything I will sell my soul to never live this again. And everyone in Khartoum, including the people that are like from different nationalities, Sudanese, even the cats and the dogs, what we have experienced, it was, I can't find a word in dictionary, in English, in Arabic, in any languages, and I have a degree in linguistics. I can't find a word to describe how it was. It wasn't uncertainty like the cope. It was I can't find a word, honestly speaking. I remember my main concern was my mother, and I have to move houses. And by the way, when this happened, many areas in Khartoum were blackout, no electricity, no water, and including my house. So I had to go to my aunt's house, and from my aunt's house, there were people just fleeing from the capital because it was scary, and at the same time, it was scary to even travel because RSV were everywhere. You don't know what's going on. You don't know if they're gonna capture you. What is even happening? You just you see air drones. I have never seen air drones in my life. I have never seen, it was, I can't describe it. I think, I honestly speaking, after this, I think like in the next 6 months, I'm going to go see a psychologist about it just so I can heal from it because it was traumatic as hell.
I know what you mean.
It was horrible. And I remember the first week was bad. By all the means, everything was just, imagine everything that your worst fears in this universe, they all include and they happen at once.
Let me play you one more clip.
Every second,
Let me play you one more clip now of the RSF. You're going to hear them. They seem to have commandeered some kind of weaponry. Here's the.
الله اكبر الله اكبر والله جوا التصنيع الحربي والله الله اكبر الان جوا التصنيع الحربي الله اكبر الله اكبر الله اكبر
amazing media, by the way.
It seems like it.
I have heard most of these clubs. Yeah, I have heard all of them.
الله اكبر التصنيع
الحربي. The social media.
Okay. So they're celebrating the fact that they've got hold of weapons. They're shouting Allahu Akbar. Is there an Islamist element to this? Are the RSF the Islamist faction in all of this, or is that just an expression?
Okay, sure. Before I answer this, I need to answer your question first. The one that they claim that the people are happy about it. I have told you what happened, right? The first 10 days and so on. So I have moved right now I'm not at Khartoum, which is, I consider this, I think I got out of life. I'm not at Khartoum. I'm in Madani, Jazeera state. I will tell you once something happened. We moved from Khartoum, from Shara 16th Street, and we took a normal minibus, which is for transportation. It's not even for and so on. So when we moved from this place to a place called Al Bagir, which is the last state in the Khartoum state, we went through 4 checkpoints of RSV. Okay. 4 checkpoints. They check people and everything that they actually, before this, when I lived in 1 month, they were literally in the supermarket with me. They were roaming around with me.
Among the people.
And they stole so many cars, and they removed the budget from it, and they just move it. And you literally see them in the supermarket, and you literally see them everywhere. They are literally using people. How can a military person can be among the civilians? And they were there. They even stole, I don't know, I'm not going to get into details of what I have witnessed of what they have done. But I will tell you what I have experienced with them. So the check for 4 points, they ask you to come out, and if they suspect you, based on how they think, they will ask you for your identity and what do you work for, and if they don't like you, they're gonna take you. So it was scary. First checkpoint, they target my parents, my dad and my brother, and other 2 people. And in the minibus, we were families. We were exactly 4 families, and we had exactly 6 children among us. And I think it was 7 women. I even sent the photo to Harry for documentation. They stopped us and they asked the second point, he didn't ask us. The third point, didn't ask. The fourth was the horrible one. Now, here's what he actually did to me. One of these soldiers of ours. So he stopped the bus, and he started shouting to a woman. He was like, "Take out your gun." And it was a woman that she has 2 children. He was like, "Take out your gun." He was shouting at her, and she was like, "I don't have any gun." And then they asked all the young men to step in, ينزلوا من الباص, to leave the bus so they can search them and search their bags. Yeah, okay. Everyone did. One of these soldiers has came up, and he started shouting at women, "If you have a weapon, take it out right now." He was like, "We don't target women, but now we're gonna target you." And we were like, "What's going on?" Now here's the thing: out of all the women in the bus, he chose to target me.
Oh dear.
So he looked me in the eye. He was like, "Take out your gun." He started yelling at me, and I was like, "I don't have any gun." I don't know how I found the strength to even reply to this person. It was barbaric. I'm gonna call it barbaric. He's like, "Take out your gun." I was like, "I don't have a gun." He's like, "Okay, let me give you." He started shouting to my mother. My mother is 66 years old woman. How can a 60-year-old woman have a gun? And my mom gave him her bag, and she gave her a bag. She was like, "Here, search me." And he saw her bag, and it was full of medicines. And he told her, "You're sick." And she was like, "Yes, I'm sick. I'm 66. And then he took me, he spoke to me, and he was like, "Okay, so you don't want to give me your gun?" I was like, "I don't have a gun." I didn't argue with him. I just said, "I do not have a gun." He took my bag and searched it. He found my phone. He said to me, "Open your phone gallery. You Sudanese people have done this to yourself." And he asked me a very specific question. And by the way, he wasn't Sudanese. He was from Tishat. Sudanese people, no matter what they are, they will never treat each other like this. This is no way. But he took my phone and I opened my gallery, and luckily I did not have anything to do with the war or militia or army. And he asked me a very specific question. He was like, who are you with? Are you with the army? Or are you with the RSV? And I had to lie to save my life. And I said, I am, of course, with RSV.
Okay.
And I left. And I think this is the answer of your question. And I'm going to move now to your next question that you have asked about Islamic. Now, here's the thing. Sudanese people are very religious in terms of their saying, their greetings, their faith. They're considered one of the North Africans, like after Libyans, I think, and Algerians as well. They are very, like, I'm not going to call it Islamic. It's more like very religious in terms of like, they are very spiritual people. Now, if you want to get into a place and cheer and consider these things, you will use these terms like Allahu Akbar, and these terms was actually created from Bashir. He go to places, he sell out some people, and be like, I'm safe, and so on. Now, here's the thing. I'm gonna mention something that I don't think the media has mentioned. As a citizen here, I'm living here. Okay, there is a big media war. So these people, they have excellent social media managers. RSF, they're gonna pay them a raise. They did a great job. I gotta tell you this.
Yeah.
So they claim that they claim places and they won victory. And actually, it did not happen. And then the army is much weaker, and them with them, and then them in the media. And army's like, listen, no, you did not do that. So they created a confusion and also distrusting with the army. So it made people feel, it made me feel that, listen, I don't think even the army is going to save me from these people.
Well, that's my last question for you is, what is the solution to this? How are we coming out of it?
I think there was a lot of international relationships going on with this. Now, here's the thing. I'm going to tell you something from a person who's from here. I'm not going to lie to you. For what I know, and what a lot of people want, we want them to be gone. And I don't want to see them again. And I am against killing and violence and all of these things, but I really do not want to see them again. But the solution, I don't think for the meantime there's one, because I think that unfortunately Khartoum has been officially destroyed. And life is very vague right now. So we don't know what to do. I gotta tell you.
Okay, well, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm going to throw it open for questions from Andre or Harry, if any of them have something to ask based on what we've heard tonight. Andre coined the term coup-alitis a few weeks ago. He thinks there's a coup in Africa every week, and you've mentioned that. Andre, are you with us?
I am, sir. How are you?
Very good. What did you make of Iman's account of the RSF and what's happened in Sudan?
Hi, can you hear me?
We can hear you. Go for it.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you, Andre. You go for it.
Yeah, sorry. I'm driving through Henley, so it's a bad connection.
Drive carefully, Andre. Don't do anything illegal.
There's not much to say, really, to add to this, except, my condolences for everyone. And I'm sorry about the state of affairs that is.
All right, Andre's got bad signal, but yeah.
On in Africa at the moment.
Okay.
The point of what I'm trying to say. Can you hear me?
Go on, Andre. We're getting you slowly.
Yeah,
keep going.
Hello. Yeah. Hello. Yeah, no, I was just saying that all this does is illustrate the point that I've said time and time again, that Africa needs to come under, they need to get rid of the, I heard. Sorry, I didn't catch the speaker's name again. Excuse my manners.
Iman,
but I heard them mention about the racism going on and the colorism and all of this going on. Iman, yes, they said that the racism, the colorism, and all this sort of stuff that goes on over there. It's a tribalist behaviour that has gone across all 54 countries of Africa, and we need to stop this. And I really do believe as I said to before, the way forward is an autocratic central government with one army that controls everybody. And everyone in Africa joins that army. The problem is who joins the Nigerian army? Nigerians. Who joins the army? Kenyans. Right? Right. Who joins the British army? Everyone from the Commonwealth. Who joins the American and the French army? Everybody from there, from the Commonwealth or internationally. And the problem we have, when you have a mixed coalition army like that, the mindsets change. It's not tribalism anymore. It's a mindset thing, but you're intermixed, you're integrated. So, hello? Hello?
Iman, do you agree with Andre? Does Africa need to unite?
No, here's the thing. This is most definitely a point that I think that everyone is agreeing on. The Africans need to unite. But here's the thing. I will tell you the truth, okay? Right now, I know that Sudan was going to a democratic, I don't know the English word for it, I don't know, democratic direction that's not military base, presidential. But I have to tell you the truth. I don't know, but if you ask many people, like, go ahead and do a survey. After this war, we do not care who's going to rule us. We just want our life back.
We just want peace.
They took everything from us.
100%. Harry,
they were fighting and so on, but they took our lives. I gotta say that.
Of course.
And the future too. It's unknown now.
Harry, any questions or points to raise before we wrap it up?
Yeah, I know Iman from back in the days in the Gulf states, and it's quite interesting how the bigger news stations out there, they follow exactly the same kind of rhetoric as Western media. I really feel they don't want to see Sudan thrive in these cases here. It seems to be like, the outsiders, are the RSF. You know, the military were providing some stability from what we understand here, but they also mostly seem to be in favor of the RSF. And you're having these journalists that write for these major tabloids, papers, whatever, that have so-called studied Sudanese politics for like 15, 20 years, and they're still getting it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But yes. Iman, you had like a really good story about. Obviously, you're not political, but the army were keeping things somewhat stable for you. Tell us the story about the drones. When you felt like there was a bit of hope. The story about the drones. You felt there was a bit of hope about a week or so ago coming out of your part of the city in Khartoum. That's faded, unfortunately. The story of the drones. That was fascinating.
Which story, Harry?
The drone
You're saying about
story.
the story of the drones. You know, in Khartoum, you're saying that it was bringing you some hope. You know, every time you knew the drones were flying over, you knew this was something the army were really going out of their way to protect everybody. You told me this a couple of 2 weeks ago.
It was. I'm gonna mention this briefly. I gotta tell you something though. I'm speaking to you right now because of humans and the people that were in Khartoum. I'm not gonna lie to you. I wouldn't be alive and speaking to you and doing this interview.
Mm. You're about to continue? Who's muted? Anyone?
Yeah. Hello?
Oh, got it.
Sorry,
Okay.
man. We
Yeah,
lost
continue.
Andre, but we're
Continue.
hearing you, yeah.
Yeah,
Continue,
sure.
yeah.
So the people were like, people were helping each other so much to the point that I have to tell you that until now, this is what pisses me off, because all medias, without mentioning the names, like it's not my favorite to mention any name, but they did not show any. I have to say that every single Sudanese human being that's still alive until this day, it was because of the one force that was among the Sudanese people. We literally get medicines for anyone that needs something. A lot of people risk their life to get people out of the conflict areas. Supply, a lot of stores has opened and risked their life that the RSV is gonna take their everything and their money just to get people supply. And there was a lot of people, whenever they need a medicine of a certain medicine, they need something, and everyone was having this big hope that, listen, this is tough, but we're gonna get through it, and we're gonna be one of the most patient people out there that ever lived. And I have been helped a lot by a lot of people, because my story of how I even found a house in the middle of the war was even insane. So people were just, it was one force.
Well,
this is the media was not showing everyone who's alive right now. I will state this until my death.
I hope you'll come back on to update us and hopefully maybe give us some good news in a few weeks from Sudan. I'm hopeful that things will improve, inshallah. This has been Lessons for Life on an unusual Wednesday night, going live to Khartoum. Incredibly, an incredible story from Iman. We'll be back on Monday, if anyone can make it, at the usual time of 9 p.m. We were here and we are gone. Laters.